I've grown up watching my father's films. Today, if people tell me that I lip sync well or I do my songs well, it's because I've learned from the best. I was having dinner and my father was sitting on the sitting room, which was ahead, and he didn't realize I was behind. And he was watching a song from Anjana Anjani, and he got so upset with the way I was lip syncing that he said, "Ranbir, sing loudly."
ये इंटरव्यू कितना झूठा होगा ये इन दो मक्कार लोगों पे डिपेंड करता है, क्योंकि मेरी इस वक्त इंटरव्यू की डेस्टिनी भी रणबीर कपूर और लव रंजन से डिसाइड करेंगे कि हाउ डज इट गो फॉर मी।
आपको क्या चाहिए? हम कुछ भी दे सकते हैं। आपकी मांग क्या है? आपको ऑनेस्ट इंटरव्यू चाहिए, स्पिरिचुअल चाहिए, मक्कार वाली चाहिए? हम कुछ भी दे सकते हैं आपको।
मेरे डीएम्स के हिसाब से तो सिर्फ इतना रोमांस फैला हुआ है ना, क्यों मांग नहीं सकती। बट वेलकम टू पीपिंग मून रणबीर।
थैंक यू सो मच। थैंक यू।
Starting with you, Love sir, because I have to ask you this one. ये कार्तिक को स्किप करके आरके को लेने का डिसीजन कैसे?
ये कार्तिक को स्किप करके आरके को लेने का डिसीजन नहीं था। हम लोग, मैं और रणबीर जब मिले थे तब ये सोनू की टीटू की स्वीटी के पहले की बात है। तो ये ऐसा नहीं है कि मतलब सोनू की टीटू की स्वीटी आई चल गई, अब यहाँ कार्तिक नहीं कर रहे हैं, अब रणबीर के साथ कर रहे हैं। और मतलब सबसे पहले दो लोग जिनको बात पता चली थी कि मैं और रणबीर डिस्कस कर रहे हैं कुछ करने के बारे में, वो कार्तिक और नुसरत है। तो हम ये सोनू की टीटी की स्वीटी तब तक शूट भी स्टार्ट नहीं हुई थी, उससे पहले हम लोग मिले थे और हमने डिस्कस किया था कि हम आगे क्या करना, मैं आगे क्या करना चाहता हूँ। इसको कुछ चीजें पसंद आई थी, एक स्पेसिफिक फिल्म थी जो पसंद आई थी। तो देखो, आप एक और चीज कह रहा कि कोई दो फिल्में नहीं की मैंने कार्तिक और नुसरत के साथ, मैंने 4 फिल्में की। राइट। एक वक्त आता है जब आपको ये लगता है कि आप सेम चीज कर करके आपको उनके लिए भी अच्छा होता है कि उनको जब वो बाहर जाते हैं और डायरेक्टर्स के साथ काम करते हैं, और आपको खुद को भी लगता है कि अब आप एक बार मतलब कुछ अलग करो। तो आइडिया वो था और मैं इसके साथ काम करना चाहता था हमेशा से। उनको पता था कि मैं करना चाहता हूँ।
मुझे याद है जब हमने शूट शुरू की, नुसरत का बहुत लंबा मैसेज आया था मुझे, that you know how excited she was that he and me were collaborating and they've been talking about it when they've been working in movies. I think आप लोग रॉकस्टार देखने गए थे,
साथ में देखने गए थे, तो मतलब they knew about my love for him.
Ranbir, I think everyone has been asking you the same thing कि एक Casanova / love genre romantic comedy में you are making a comeback. If I go a little पीछे, Rishi sir was probably the greatest romantic heroes we had. You cannot take away that legacy. I'm not comparing. I'm not doing that. गलती अभी यहाँ पे. But interestingly, Rishi साहब जब वो romantic films कर रहे थे, उस time पे you and Ridhima were also growing up. Almost जब तक अपने teens में आए थे, Rishi sir was probably still the most loved hero we had on the celluloid. You have Raha now. You said somewhere कि इसके बाद शायद मैं इतने romantic characters करूँगा या नहीं, I'll see to it. How do you connect these two dots?
Well, the problem is my father had me when he was 30. I had Raha when I'm 40. So it's a little bit of an age gap. But I didn't say it because Raha was born about the genre. I just felt that I'm also growing older and rom-com genre is truly a young actor's genre. अगर अच्छी स्क्रिप्ट आएगी, अगर कर लव will write an age appropriate rom-com, maybe I would love to do it. So never say never. Having said that, I've grown up watching my father's films. Today, if people tell me that I lip sync well or I do my songs well, it's because I've learned from the best. You know, I remember Anjana Anjani के गाने आ रहे थे टीवी में, and when we used to all live together, I was having dinner and my father was sitting on the sitting room, which was ahead, and he didn't realize I was behind, and he was watching a song from Anjana Anjani, and he got so upset with the way I was lip syncing that he said, "Ranbir, sing loudly." And suddenly I got scared, and then he realized I was sitting behind. So I understood what he meant, that you know, when you're performing a song, you have got to, even if you're playing an instrument or you're singing, you have to do it like you're doing it like how the singer is doing it. You have to perform it. You can't just, just move your lips, which really worked well for me because right after that I was getting into Rockstar. And that advice I really took seriously. And so I've imbibed a lot of these things from my father, the way he used to romance on screen. He was such an effortless actor. Every actor की mimicry हो सकती है, but nobody could mimic my father because he was such a natural, So I really admire those qualities in him.
I think for me, Rishi sir would be that sweater on the shoulders, and I think all those leading ladies he would have romanced. That is the most iconic picture I can ever get of him.
Yeah.
You know what is very interesting if you see his performances in romantic films, and that's something that he also at certain level has imbibed, is that a lot of people, when in romantic films, a lot of actors look at the woman with a lot of desire, right? With a lot of love, attraction. What he could do very well, and now he does very well, is that he would look at a woman with desire, with love, but there would be a certain amount of respect in it. And that is what made it so endearing. You never saw him looking at a woman without respect. Even if he's singing a qawwali for the woman, right, you would always feel that care for her.
Interestingly, Luv sir, as you're the filmmaker and Ranbir is the artist and the actor, I would call it. ऋषि सर की किसी लव फिल्म में अगर आपको रणबीर को कास्ट करना होता, आप कौन सी पिक करते?
Bobby.
I mind Bobby. Oh, that's nice. But I really like his one film Zamaane को दिखाने जो चली नहीं थी बॉक्स ऑफिस पे. उसमें बहुत अच्छे गाने थे. वो ट्रेन के ऊपर गाना था. होगा तुमसे प्यारा कौन. A lot of great qawwalis. There was Padmini auntie in the film. So I would really like to remake that film. If I had to remake a film.
I would love to have him 18 years old and do Bobby.
वो दिन तो चलेगा.
But then again, you never know.
तो पूरा इंसान कर सकते हैं.
But there can be an age appropriate take on Bobby also.
Probably, yes.
Why not? For both of you, then the trailer came out, I remember, Dight Sabra, in famous fashion police page, as we call it. There was a thirst trap thing going on for you.
Dight Sabya.
Dight Sabra.
Okay.
There was a thirst
His
trap.
name is Dight Sabya.
Dight Sabra is an Instagram page.
Okay.
You are on Instagram, but still you're not. So I'll give you a little brief. He's the fashion police, everything anyone wears, and if anyone is looking good, bad, ugly in the circuit, he opens it for discussion. So a trailer came out, and the first picture which gets posted is Ranbir in his ads, walking out the water sequence in that Tere Pyar Mein, and the caption was, Daddy ate. Now what exactly am I going to make of it? Like Daddy?
When I see that picture, I only see a sad soul behind it. Because it was a lot of starvation, it was a lot of hard work, it was being in Spain and not enjoying the place also. I could see him eating pizzas and, tapas and all that. So I just had to sacrifice all of that. And I only see pain.
He wouldn't have dinner with me.
Your dinners to are...
No, because
कोई आदमी ऐसा खा रहा है, you feel more bad.
I ate it.
But you became quite a topic of discussion.
Oh, nice. I'm happy. I'm happy to be topic of discussion.
Yeah, because the girls were like, he should have removed the shirt earlier, but nice. Objectification done right. Here, I'm going to say. With objectification, Luv sir, the constant query and the constant question which everyone ends up keep on asking is how you are going to this time do the portrayal of what the famous word goes as misogyny and men and the gender. And I asked Shraddha this. I'm like, Shraddha, for me, in the trailer, which worked the most is your evil laughter towards the end. Like you are having the last laugh over all the men and all the raita which is happening in your life. How did you decide to place that one with Shraddha? I mean, this entire conversation of misogyny and then love and his characters and how he portrays men and women. How do you place Tu Jhooti Main Makkaar in this?
I don't place Tu Jhooti Main Makkaar in this.
You don't? Because that's how,
I see,
the
honestly,
conversation I've been hearing.
I don't care. Okay, I have, initially when I did it, the first film when I did and this discussion started, the thing is that I don't look at it the way they looked at it. Right, my take was that, are you telling me that you can't tell a story about negative female characters?
You can.
Right. So, I mean, that's a very stupid thing to say. And if I'm making a film about negative female characters, doesn't mean that I feel that every woman is negative. Having said that, this film has nothing to do with the Pyar Ka Panchnama. Right. They're different films. So I don't see the need of putting this film in that context to me.
Agreed. Because that's how we make the, the pura ka pura dhancha bana dete hain, same discussion and the same tablet we move on around. Ranbir, also, I had to ask you that there was news going on about you doing some certain biopics. Well, what's happening on that front?
I think the first which came out was Dada's biopic, which Love has been developing, but I have not been offered that film, nor has he finished writing that film.
Why?
Because we're still writing it.
Okay.
And I think that would be such an exciting biopic, you know, a life on Saurabh Ganguly, who's been one of the most loved Indian captains.
Yes.
He's such a great guy. I've interacted with him many a times. And he's been so gracious enough to even help us promote this film when we went to Kolkata. So a lot of respect for that man.
That's really actually broke the internet, and that's how the entire conversation started.
Yeah. And secondly, the Kishore Kumar biopic, me and Basu have been trying to make it since 11 years now. He's still working on it, he's still writing. But you know, biopics are very tricky because to really write a famous person's life, to make a movie on it is very tricky because it's not just birth to death. You got to make it entertaining, you have to make a story out of it. You know, so it's not a very easy genre to write. So I guess, you know, when these scripts are written and when I hear it, I'll have more of an idea where I am with the films, but as of right now, they're all work in progress.
I asked you this because one of my first interviews when I started my career was Sanju for Ranbir, and at that time he was explaining us in a sitting down that why physical resemblance is not imperative to do a biopic. It's how you pick a character and how you make it its own. And it makes so much sense because if I'm going to compare your physical comparisons with Dada or Kishore Da for that matter.
See, today you have so much of help with prosthetics and CG and makeup and costume. You can work on your body and try and look more like the character, and that's fine. You know, that's the basic. That is the prerequisite that every actor has to do anyways. But I think to really understand a human being, because you are putting his life on screen, that's very important. So when during the Sanju biopic, it was very important that apart from the physicality, to really understand Sanjay Dutt as a person, to really understand his vulnerabilities, his fears, his wrongdoings, his immature behavior. I think everything was very important before I started working on that film.
Love, before I close this interview, the last one for you. Whenever a filmmaker comes out with a film, they always say that, oh, it has a part of me, or I have borrowed something from my life, or an incident. When there is a film like Tu Jhooti Main Makkaar, how should we place this context here?
Before you answer, let me tell you that this character of Mickey is definitely based on his life or somebody who he aspires to be. The character of Mickey has so much of family values, his relationship with his family, his relationship with his friend is definitely, and I know Love now, I know his life, I've seen him around his family, I've seen him around his friends. So he's definitely borrowed a lot from his own life. बोलो इसके आगे कुछ ऐड करो?
कुछ ऐड करो?
See, I'll have this conversation with you after you've seen the film.
But will you meet her after the film?
Yeah.
Of course. I am. He has promised me a nice meal. That is the only rishwat I'm taking for this
You
film.
will cook?
Yeah.
Okay.
Famous dishes which you have already tempted me with, I'm going to take that.
100%, yeah.
Listen guys, please go and watch the film. You gotta make it work. I have a treat due and it will only happen if Love is going to deliver a blockbuster. खाने के लिए, मेरे खाने के लिए, please make it work. That really makes a lot of sense. But thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much.